This is our Family Feud edition. We are back with the family unit, and I have all these wonderful guests on the You Better Say That talk show. This is the second part of the family unit, and we're going to have Mr. Antoine Harvis to introduce this awesome family. Mr.
Okay.
Antoine?
So, first off, my name is Antoine. This is my wife, Raven. This is my father, Cleveland Harvis. My brother, Kerry Harvis. And my first cousin, Katrina Sheffield.
Awesome. Thank you guys for being on the show.
Thank you.
Well, this is our Family Feud edition. Earlier, I interviewed Raven and Antoine about the family unit. So earlier this year, they were invited to go on the Family Feud with Steve Harvey, and I tell you, I know they had a great time. And so I invited them here to share their experience and tell us all about their journey there. So we're going to just dive in and just hear all about their journey. So listen, how in the world did the Family Feud come about with the Harvis family? Who want to talk about
It
it?
started with Raven.
It started with Raven. Okay, Raven.
So we saw something on Facebook that said they were having open casting. Was it 2016, 2017, Tree?
Yeah. something like that.
And
Okay.
I just shot out texts to family members, different family members, and of course Kerry, you know, he
was all in.
Baby brother's always gonna have my back. But Kerry was in, and Trina's like, let's do it. And so this team went to Atlanta for an open casting call.
Okay.
And that was it. We just went for the call, and they never called us back.
Okay.
And then during the pandemic, we get a call saying they wanted to have our family do a Zoom trial
Wow.
of the Family Feud, and we all got on Zoom, and I guess Dad did his magic.
Okay.
And after that, they were like, we want your family on.
Oh, wow.
We want to have y'all on. So we were waiting. It was kind of hurry up and wait. So finally, they reached back out to us in 2023 with some dates they wanted us to record. So we
Okay.
came, and we recorded in 2023 and aired in 2024.
Wow. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
It was a long process.
I was going to ask you, I was just about to say, I thought they called y'all like in January when you went on in March, and hey, and it's airing.
No.
So this has been in effect for like 2 or 3 years.
Oh, no.
Since 2017.
Longer, much
2017
longer.
years.
About
8 years.
Kerry said,
No.
oh, no.
I don't believe it.
Yes.
So when families ask us, hey, how y'all get on? We want to go on there too. And I'm like, hey, this not, you know.
This ain't
it's not
nothing you
simple
wanna
as
do.
think. Not
Right.
easy as you think it is.
Right, because it looks easy,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
it's
but
not.
behind the scene, because I know another family that was preparing to go on it, so they may show up in 2025 or 2020, 2030, the way y'all sound,
Right.
And
you
it may
know.
have been because of the pandemic, too.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
That was kind of right in the middle of
Yeah.
our time of auditioning and all that kind of stuff.
Okay,
So,
so when you talk about going on there, is it something that you guys get together at home and practice and have somebody ask questions and stuff like that, Dad?
We did.
Y'all did?
We did.
Okay, yeah.
We
How
was
did,
done the questions on the show.
of course it wasn't. Oh my goodness, but wasn't that fun though?
Oh, it was.
It was.
Yeah,
It was
Very
Right.
fun.
And who did the questions? Who came up with the questions?
We had the game.
Yeah, we
we
played
actually
the
got the
family
game.
Okay,
in
this
the
is
box.
family. Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I forgot they
And
had that game out.
we also tried to recruit other
team.
people.
To do
To
it.
play against
Against y'all. Oh my,
Yeah.
how did that go? Did y'all find somebody?
We did.
Y'all
We
did?
we had a few different people that kind of formed other teams, and
beat everybody.
we had
We
buzzers.
beat
beat
everybody.
Yeah. We were like we
I
were the
love
champs
it.
at home, right?
And we still didn't practice as much as Antoine wanted us to practice.
Of course.
Antoine was like militant about,
Oh, yeah,
y'all,
yeah,
we need
yeah.
to get some more practice in.
That's right, exactly.
But
Wow.
you know when we got on the first episode, we lost, right?
Well, I think I heard that. Somebody was telling me, yeah, but y'all got a chance to come back or something
They
like
they
that.
were so enamored with how wonderful these people are, and they said
Oh,
we got to
wow.
have y'all come back. Like
Isn't that
they
wonderful?
really enjoyed our family unit. So
Yeah.
thanks, Dad.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Dad, so what do you think about this? I mean, you're the patriarch of the family, and and they asked you to come and be a part of this. How did that make you feel?
Well, it was great. It was great. I mean, just to be pretty much the leader of the family with the Harvis name,
Right.
that was great. And when I got on the show, Steve talked about that, and then he just ragged me out after that. He said,
Oh, we are talking about Steve Harvey, right?
yeah, we are talking about Steve. Harvey.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was fun, Out of all the stuff he said, none of it really bothered you because it was all about having fun. So
Exactly.
it was great. It
Right.
was great. It was great.
And is he just as crazy on screen that he is off?
But
He's a comedian.
just to sit down and talk to him, he's a down to earth person.
yeah.
He's great.
That's
He's-
awesome.
he's
So a
great.
great experience.
It's a great experience.
Okay, very good. All right. So cousin,
Yes.
tell us about your experience on
Oh, it was amazing. I think probably one of my best experience was to do the Fast Money. So when I ended up doing the Fast Money, because I wasn't really expecting to, because when you're on camera like that, you're thinking, oh, you want to say the best answers that you can think of,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
at that moment, all I'm thinking is like reality, you know. So it was amazing. I scored 166 points. On my
Very
Fast
good.
Money.
Yes.
So that was exciting.
Very good.
And Cuz came right behind me. What did you do? 34? You had to get it right.
You won.
You won. Yeah, that's right.
But that right there, overall, it's the experience of a lifetime. It's something you'll never forget. You'll cherish that moment forever.
Exactly.
So.
And you guys will be on TV forever.
Yes.
Yes, yes, exactly.
We
Definitely have memories that we probably will never forget, and it bonded us like nothing else. So
Oh,
it was
wow.
awesome.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, well, cousin, tell me, brother, tell us about your experience there.
It just was great. Just to, kind of piggyback off these guys. It's just something that you remember forever. You have a few life experiences that is like, whether it's trauma or something that's
Yes.
really, really fun.
Sure.
Like it's something we'll always revert back to and say, we went on Family Feud. We had the time of our life.
That's right.
So,
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
good.
That is fantastic.
good.
Awesome. Well, is there any other TV appearances that we're going to have coming up soon?
Well, we got some stuff in the works. We can't talk
okay.
about it too early now,
Okay,
but
gotcha.
we do have
Some things
something that we're working
In the
on.
making. Okay, well,
Yes.
y'all better you better say that. Tell y'all know that.
Carrie has his biggest appearance coming up, though. He is about to have twin boys in a couple of
Yes,
days.
congratulations. I am so, that's in a role model right there. That's
There you
that's
go.
a role that you will have for life.
Yes.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
I love it. And it's wonderful. So the Family Feud edition.
Yes.
Raven, Antoine, tell us about you guys' experience on there.
Well, I mean, just like all of them said, just an experience that you never forget. I really enjoyed seeing them win fans money for us.
Did y'all bring any money home?
We did.
Y'all did.
actually.
Is that for real? When people win that money, you get a chance to actually bring it home?
Absolutely.
So you don't actually bring it home.
Yeah,
That
but
day,
you-
not that day.
Not
Right,
that day.
right.
But
Okay,
they,
right.
They
Yeah, but-
will. When you cash the check is good.
Get out.
Yes,
It don't
good.
bounce all over the
It
world.
doesn't bounce,
my
and
goodness.
the money is real.
The
You
money
can't
is real.
spend it. Yes.
That is fantastic.
So
Oh,
we
awesome.
ended up winning the car.
Sure,
At the end, so we jumped around and ran up there with Steve
Yeah.
and took the pictures and everything. Everybody asked us about the car when we
Right.
They actually
Well,
got the car.
Who got the car? Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Number one question.
Yeah.
And another disclaimer: we didn't win enough money to give to people.
Sure,
But we
yeah.
did
Oh,
win
yeah.
enough for. We did win enough for our family.
Exactly.
Yes.
Individual
Growing
family.
family at that.
Growing family.
No doubt. Well, they should have gave it all to you with twins coming.
He's probably gonna get our portion anyway because I've already started buying shoes and booties
Exactly.
and stuff for the babies.
That's
So,
I knew
you know.
that, Auntie. I said she's gonna spend all the money. But go ahead, Antoine.
But
Robert.
it was just a great experience. Like Carrie said, it's just something you won't forget, and and I think the thing that I enjoyed the most was being on there with them, right? And that, going there, and all the times where we would sit down and try to strategize what we were gonna do, and but it was great, and it's just something like we were at our family reunion here not long ago.
Yeah.
And they made up a Family Feud game, and we were all there together.
That's right.
Right, and actually we were down
won.
in
We won
points,
again.
but we ended
We
up
won
winning.
again.
We
Okay,
won. Right. So
Well, maybe we need to do
it's
a
great.
local Family Feud
Oh
show.
yeah, that I
Yes.
think that's coming as well. So,
Okay,
but I
okay.
will say, this group is the most competitive people
Uh-huh,
that
okay.
probably exist in the world. Like we all like to win a lot.
Yes.
Like it's your fault.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'm just saying. But we are very competitive, but we do it in the name of fun.
Yes,
And I
yes.
feel like for me, it was a lot of pressure. Just because I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I say the wrong thing
Man.
starting out the gate and we start off on the wrong? I might forget somebody's name,
Right,
introducing
right.
everybody, but I put the team on my back.
Okay.
Oh, my
And you
goodness.
carried them.
Yeah.
No, if it wasn't for us realizing that we had the ability to change up our fast money team and stuff, 'cause everything, you know, our strategy had to change.
Sure.
But I will tell you, the most memorable thing for me was that run to the car, because I didn't know I was out of shape so bad until we ran from the stage to the
Oh
car.
my goodness.
I was breathing so heavy, but I was so glad. It was an exciting experience.
Yeah.
I was jumping.
Well, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. I love it. Well, listen, we talked about family reunion a few minutes ago, and that was my next question. So when you talk about family reunion, getting together, you know, when we grew up, I don't know, I'm sure Dad remember this. When we grew up, we was around family. And we had family reunions, and we went to grandmother's house, and we went to, you know, to our grandparents' house, and we was around our family a whole lot. But then this new generation, they don't want to do that. They don't like doing it. They want to stay in their rooms. They want to stay on their phones. And they say, you know, if you ask them, well, do you want to go to grandmama's house? Do you want to go to granddaddy's house? No, I don't want to go. What in the world has shifted between our generation and this new generation when it comes to family? When it comes to
we
family.
grew up going to grandmother's house and everything, so I know exactly what you mean.
Modern
You know, so what-
technology, computers, phones, different stuff of that nature.
Technology has kind of gotten that gap, bridged that gap.
That's where they've done it.
I believe it.
And decision making too, because like as parents, our parents, they made us go
Oh,
because
yeah, we
it
had
was a
to go.
necessity.
Right.
It may not be a necessity for us, but we still make our kids go. When our son turned
Right.
5, he went to his granddaddy and worked at the shop with him.
Yes,
and
yes.
spent time with Uncle Carrie, and cousin Trina has done both of our kids, and she owns a cosmetology school in
Okay,
Troy.
okay.
And so our kids have gone down there and spent time with their family members, and they have to go to the family reunions and be
Sure.
a part of that unit.
Exactly.
We don't give them the choice all the time
Right,
to
right.
just stay on the phone or do all those things. So I think you have to put your foot down a little bit and make sure that you kind of force them to engage, because
exactly.
it's a value that they'll appreciate later.
Exactly. So it's parenting, like a parenting in a sense, because you know most children, you know, the kids don't need to be telling their parents what they are and they were not they're gonna do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's in a sense it's the parents. It's on the parents' reason why they don't do that.
Could the boys tell you what they were going to do?
I know. I know that didn't happen, did it?
Didn't
Dad?
happen.
Well, I think the mindset in the parents has to shift too. Like in the United States, we're very individualistic, and so we
Right.
tend to get into silos where we don't rely on the family as much
Sure.
anymore, or don't, you know, try to build those relationships.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think we need to get back to, because you know,
I agree.
their saying is, you know, that it takes a village, you know, to raise
It
you know,
does,
children
yes.
to really build a family. You need that village. You
You
need your
need
village.
it, right.
And I'm proud of, you know, our family. We don't get together as much as I think we probably
Sure.
want to
None of us do
sometimes,
now.
you know. But the times that we do, we still enjoy each other.
Right,
You
and
know
have
what
a
I
good
mean?
time.
And have a good time. And you know, like my brother moved here. You know, him and his wife to Opelika, and we're, you know, so glad they're here. And I know like she's gonna
Oh, yeah,
spoil those twins, and we're gonna, you know,
That's
we're just
awesome.
gonna spend time together, you know, because we're so close and connected, in the same area and that kind of
Right.
thing. So, you know, I think we got to get back to, you know, that connectivity that, you know, we used to have as families, you know.
And being intentional about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, when it comes to family, because family is important.
It is.
What's your take on that, sis?
It's very important. Even just growing up, because I'm the same way. I didn't have a choice. Going to grandma's
Exactly,
house. I was
yeah,
raised in
that's right.
Oklahoma, so
Oh, wow.
I wasn't even raised with my family as much. But when we come home, come home. We're at grandmama's house. You stay in there. You go to aunties. You mingle with your cousins, and my other side of the family as well. But just even now, I have a stepdaughter, so I have a blended family as well. And even then, I bring her around my family. I bring her around both sides. She sees everybody. So I don't think that should be an option for
Yes.
them. So for the most part, you know, I think it starts with the parent. So
Yes, it does.
the parent has to install that into that child. Or that child's gonna, like you said, social media. Social media has pretty much taken over.
Yes.
So especially with this younger generation that's coming up.
Oh my goodness, yes.
But you just want to make sure that you install the family beliefs in church and keep them involved. So for the most part, we just try to make sure that we keep everybody involved in the household, and so we can continue this thing. Because if not, it'll stop with us.
It will.
We don't want it to stop.
Yes,
So
exactly. And you know, a lot of times when it comes to the family, I grew up with my grandmother, and we had family reunions every single year. We knew all our cousins. We knew everybody from the left to the right. But because my mom and dad was divorced, we didn't know my mom's side of the family. So when they got back together, she said, "Well, I'm going to take you guys to, so you guys will know your mom's side of the, my side of the family." And the reason being is my brother brought his cousin home. This is my girlfriend. Yeah, and my mama had a fit because we didn't know that. You know, we knew my dad's side, but we didn't know my mom's side. You know, so she had a fit. So we started going to family reunions on her side. We were used to it, but we had to go. And then when we didn't live here, we lived in Columbus. And summertime, you know, the last day of school, you was packing your bags. You were coming to the country. You know, Columbus was a city for me. But, you know, we lived in the valley, but the last day of school, you was packing your bags, and the whole summer, you stayed the whole summer with your grandmother, you know, with grandparents and family. So
whether there was air conditioning or not.
Oh, it wasn't. And then we had to work in the fields. And we didn't have gardens. We had fields as far as you can see. You know, I'm telling you, we had to work in the fields. We had to pick the greens and the beans and the corn, and we had to shuck them. We stayed on the porch the whole summer with baskets of food around us. And then we got finished shelling them and peeling them, you know, then we had to parch them and you know, and blanch them, and then you had to freeze them, can them, all of that stuff. So that's how we grew up, you know. And so, but being around family. So what is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think like you said, parenting is the most important thing, because kids shouldn't have a choice in that matter, because they don't know what's best for them.
Exactly.
You know? So, like my dad didn't, like we went to our grandma's house for the summer most times, and my brother and I stayed down there along with our other cousins. You know, I don't know how they planned that, but they made all us go down there. All the cousins. That's how we knew
everybody.
each other.
Everybody was there.
So we kind of grew up knowing who were our, you know, cousins that were around us. You know, so they just don't, like, you shouldn't have a choice as a kid. You know, and a real life example for me is one of my close cousins had a son that missed out on a resource that I had, because I don't have a relationship with his son. So if he would have known me, it was a simple phone call, and I'm always open to helping anyone. And he didn't reach out to me because, hey, I didn't know my cousin had that, you know. So it's just it's painful to, you know, have something to because you're stronger together. And when you try to just do something on your own, you miss out on stuff that doesn't have to, you know, it has to be like that. So that's it.
Oh my goodness, that's good. That's good stuff, Daddy.
Just to add a comment to what they're saying, family is great. Family is, you know, love and strength and coming together to be in a unity. Is nobody like family. I remember when they was growing up, I had to teach them. They was trying to fight each other. No, you don't do that. That's your only brother. That you take care of him, he take care of you.
Exactly.
And so it's been you know, strength between them ever since. So I can appreciate now what I put into them. And see the benefits of the harvest of how everything's turned out. So it's great.
You better say that.
You got to do it.
You got to say that now.
Good job, Dad.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, the way the family is going right now, it's almost like a breakdown in the family, because, you know, technology has kind of taken over and the family's divided. What can we do to kind of help bring that family? What is a key component? What is one of the key components that we can do or have to keep the family unit together? Just a key component. Communication. Very good.
I say God.
God, yes.
He took my answer.
He took it? Well, you elaborate on what they said then.
Well, certainly, I think God has to be first.
Yes.
Right? Because when we follow His principles, then we have the communication, right? We'll spend the time together. You'll sacrifice for each other and that kind of thing, and, or value one another. I think a return to some of those base values is a huge piece of it.
I think so too. Very good.
A lot of times people judge other people in the family.
Yes.
So
yes.
If we can kind of remove that judgmental type of thing, that's why some people don't want to go around the other parts of the family.
You better say that.
So personally, I believe that you always connect before you correct.
Very
like
good.
If you
Very
don't
good.
do that, it's gonna feel, you know, people are going to be standoffish because, you know, no one wants to be around somewhere where they don't feel welcome.
Exactly.
You know? So,
exactly.
yeah,
That's
but
good.
definitely God first and then connecting.
Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good stuff.
I would say consistency. Consistency. You got to keep up with all that. Everything that they're saying, you know. So you can't just start it and then think that, oh, you know, just because we don't go to the family reunion the next 2-3 years, everything's okay. No, I mean, you've got to stay consistent with it. You got the holidays, birthdays, everything. Just be consistent with it in the household and just continue it. Because, like I said, you have to continue these things for it to be a pattern, for your children to see it, for it to continue. And that's why we're getting so lost nowadays. So, you know, people are kind of straying away from these key points, you know, family and coming to church and things like that. So, and in my household, it was consistent. Baby, you getting up every morning, you going to church, you going to, you know, so every single morning, it was no choice about it.
Exactly.
So you lay in the bed all day, but when it's time to go, you better beat mama to the door.
You better be ready. You better be ready. That's
right.
If
not, you going the way you looking, okay? So come on. Mama's not finna stop. So I think all that's good. Consistency, keep God first, communicate, love, all that. It's just gonna, you know, keep your family together.
Exactly.
So.
I agree with that. That consistency is very, very important. You know, growing up, the only drug problem I had was my grandmother drug us to church. That's the only drug problem I ever had. She drug us to church. And growing up, I remember only 2 times I was out of church, and that was when I had my tonsils taken out, and I think we were out of town or something like that. 2 times in my childhood, growing up, that we were not in church. I mean, we had to be there for Sunday school. My grandmother was a Sunday school teacher. She was a Sunday school superintendent, and she was involved in church. And when we got there, we knew what we were supposed to do. We sat on the second row, and my great-grandmama was on this end, and then all of us was in the middle, and my grandmother was on this end, so they had us locked in. We couldn't go anywhere. You knew after Sunday school, you was going to the restroom, get you some water, and then you come in. You didn't walk during church. So, you know, consistency is a key. And then when I got, before I got saved, and before I really got saved for real, and I was in church, but I wasn't saved. I was just religious. But when I got saved, I got beat up at the club before I got saved. And I said to myself, I'm going to stay out of West Point, and I'm going to start going back to church. But it was that consistency. It was that foundation building that led me back to the church. And when I went back to church, God had my husband in place to meet me and lead me to the Lord.
Wow.
You know, and so so that consistency is key, because had not we been consistent, I could have got beat up at the club
again
and went back to the club again. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, did something else. But that foundation. And when I got beat up at the club that night, I was laying in my friends. I was too beat up to go home. And I was like, when I'm gonna stay out of West Point, I'm gonna start going back to church. And I got up that morning before day, went home, got my baby ready to go to church, and my grandmother, and then I was just going to revivals and church, and then that's where I met my husband, and he led me to the Lord. But that consistency is key. So, you know, we have to lay that foundation, put some kind of, you know, when you was in the Army, you was consistent. Y'all had to be up at a certain time, eat at a certain day, and all that kind of stuff, and it really built stability in us and discipline in us and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, that's good. And one of my key components that I wanted to say is love. Because, you know, love will keep us together. You know, love will endure all things, you know, it was not puffed up, it's not jealous, it's not envy, but love conquers all things. And when you love, covers the multitude of sin. So love will keep you together when nothing else will. You know, and love for the family is so important. So that's my key component. But listen, anybody have anything else they want to say before we close this edition out, the Family Feud edition out?
We have enjoyed
Thank you.
time of being with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, been great.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for having us,
Thank
and
you.
hopefully we can come back.
Oh, you'll be back.
Absolutely.
Y'all be back. Y'all be back. We'll be back. Well, listen, this wraps up our Family Feud edition of the You Better Say That talk show. And until next time, God bless you, and we'll see you again.
You better say that.
You better say that. Everybody wave and say, woo!
Better say that. The best talk show, you better say that. The guests on the show, you better say that.